under darkened skies, hope lost in the dust of the street. Red and blue, colors pouring from the sky. Debates turn to anger, the crowd gets loud. Punches flying in the blink of an eye. Truth buried deep beneath the shroud. Welcome to the bullpen, where we don't survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive. Faces on the screen, flashing perfect teeth. But behind those eyes, just rotting greed. Politicians turn to whispers beneath. They all just get what they need. Whispering conspiracies, drowning in their lies. Echoes of freedom, lost in cries. Spin the wheel of fate, let's see who rise. But this game will bleed you dry. Welcome to the bullpen, where we don't survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive. Welcome to the bullpen, where we don't survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive.
Is opening investigations into the auto pin.
Hey, we're bounced.
Hey, we're live.
We are live.
Welcome to the bullpen, everybody. It's Sunday night, so it's time to talk some politics as I guess it's not ending the week, but starting the new week because it's Sunday, but it feels like we're just ending last week's week in politics. So I guess we'll call it ending the week. So how are you tonight, little Chad?
I'm pretty happy. We got lots of fun, new, good redistricting news, not just for Texas, but for the whole country. So it's good stuff.
Nice. And joining us again this week is Comix Division. How are you, sir?
I am good, sir. I am doing very well. I've been banging my head over a problem for like the last several hours, and I think I might have figured out what the problem is.
Was
So
the problem rolling the wretched?
No, the problem is not rolling the wretched.
Because I fixed that problem by muting that conversation that was going back.
Oh
and
no,
forth for the
I
whole
saw
freaking
I saw
weekend.
that, and yeah, I muted the idiot that was there. He was fighting with because it's like whatever. And then yeah, it's just like all right, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I just muted that conversation, not either of the people, but the
No,
conversation
no.
itself.
Well, the one
So as
individual,
we-
I mean, anyone who has like a really small, subscriber count on Twitter, and they're
Yeah.
usually like being like a reply guy. I just mute them because it's like, okay, you clearly have nothing to add to this conversation.
Yeah, and it was messages flying back and forth nonstop all weekend. So before we get going real fast, Mad Cheesemo for $5. Do like I did and send a super chat. Yes, be like Mad. It's the only time I'll say that, but be like Mad.
Indeed.
Yes, and we do have it fixed where we are seeing the Rumble chat this week. So everybody on Rumble, feel free to, chat away and send some Rumble rants too. Matt didn't like that. How dare you, sir? So I guess where
dare
we
you.
left off, where we left off last week was us kind of talking about wanting Trump to call for a new census and making sure that illegals aren't counted. And sure enough, within 2 days of our show last week, Trump
It
called for a new
happens.
census and is saying we shouldn't count illegals. So we're a little bit ahead of the curve. So we're gonna take a little bit of a victory lap on that. Hopefully that goes through without too many challenges. I know the Dems are already screaming that you have to count every single person.
No, of course. I
Um,
mean, that's how they fucking game the system.
yeah, well, and technically, I think the Constitution does say you must count everybody, but I don't know that that was what they meant when I don't think they anticipated 25 million extra people being here just all the time.
Probably
So,
not. That's kind of what I'm going with.
Chad,
Clearly,
what's your
I
take on
mean,
the legality?
the original intent on the census was the number of citizens. That's
Correct.
that's the clear meaning of the census. It's always been what the meaning of the census is.
Which I think if there is
So,
a challenge, that's going to have to be settled by the Supreme Court. But
but on the plus side, by doing it now, even if he doesn't get to do this mid-decade census,
mhm,
it'll rectify the question. And if the
yes,
Supreme Court, as they should, rules that the census is designed and intended to only count citizens present in the United States, then the 2030 census will fix everything that needs to be fixed at that point. So it's, even though we may lose an initial time-based battle where I'm sure they'll file challenges in the Ninth Circuit districts or Massachusetts, the first district, and probably win several levels until they get to the Supreme Court. It'll be interesting because that and birthright citizenship could completely reshape the entire face of representation in the United States by 2030.
well, that and one other case that's going before the Supreme Court on whether districting needs to take into account race or color in any way. Isn't that one coming up in this next term or supposed to be in the next
Yes.
term?
Yeah, it's the
Which would mean districts don't need to be drawn to where you're trying to group up certain groups of individuals all into one
yeah,
district.
it's called minority majority districts, where it's
Right.
designed to guarantee. We have some of those in Virginia. They were out of the Civil Rights Act of the 1960s. Mostly the southern states were required to have minority majority districts to guarantee African American representation.
Well, even in the new Texas redistricting that's going on right now, 3 of those 5 new districts are considered Latino districts. It's majority Latinos, so even those could be rewritten by that law at some point,
Well,
where
here's
you
the thing, though.
redistrict by actual population rather
Yeah,
than
the Supreme
who's in
Court.
it.
Yeah, the Supreme Court's not going to outlaw the idea that if you draw a contiguous district and it happens to have a majority of a
Right, it's just
certain
saying you
minority
don't
group.
have to go out of your way to
Yeah.
make sure that there are those groups.
Yeah, what I'm talking about is you'll see these are the squiggle districts where you'll see
Yeah,
long lines where they're doing it on purpose to capture specific neighborhoods.
Right.
like the
And
Snake District in Illinois or the Stair Step District in Illinois. Cut apart
yeah. Hmm.
areas that are primarily Republican by bringing in certain other elements by drawing the district in crazy, crazy shapes.
What's really funny is I know that the argument against redistricting in Texas is it's going to start an arms quote unquote war with these blue states that they'll redistrict. Number one,
Oh, please. I mean, like they haven't already been gerrymandering the shit for years.
well, yes, that's what I'm going to
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
going to say. Like the entire Northeast has 0 Republican congressmen representing them,
Like
and
Maryland has
even
what, 1 seat, and
yeah,
they're like, "Well, we're going to redistrict," and it's like, to what? It's
you can't.
already districted to the point that there is no
Yeah,
representation by Republicans.
there's
Yep.
no way because that district is like the Panhandle, which is the West Virginia zone of Maryland, and they are not going to be voting Democrat. So
Yeah,
it that's the thing. Like these other places, and New York, for example, has through Democrats who passed this, an independent state board that determines the districts. You may remember this, Brahma. They tried to gerrymander it last election,
Hochul tried to. And
Hochul tried to do it. It went to court, and the liberal court had to overturn it because it was violating New York state law that required independent districts to be made instead of gerrymandered districts.
And Hochul has been out in the last week saying, "No, we did it fairly." It's like, oh, you don't recall the court case saying, with your own liberal judges, no, you didn't. I mean, we all know gerrymandering happens, but I mean, when you look at the percentage of vote that goes to each party in each state, there are a lot of states where it's nowhere near representative of a given state. California does not have the representation of the 40% or so that actually vote Republican in certain areas of that state. Illinois has basically no Republican representation. And it's as bad as Illinois is, there are pockets of pretty red areas. We've all seen what the map looks like.
Mm-hmm.
It's red.
It's not
across
pockets.
The country.
No, Brahma, for Illinois, it's not pockets.
It's the majority outside of Chicago. Yeah.
And then there's the red state that's around Chicago.
Yeah.
So
well, it's funny because like a number of years ago, I don't remember the city I was in, but it was like on the border with one of the other states. I think it was Iowa. You look at a map or something, or maybe it's Idaho. I don't remember. But I was talking to them, and they're like, I was like, do you guys live here in Illinois? They're like, hell no. And they kind of laid out the whole thing about what, basically Chicago basically kind of like dominating the entire state. The fact that the state's rather red. It's just Chicago that screws everything up. So yeah, they live in another state and they basically drive into Illinois for their job, and then they go home. And
then get the hell out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, and at least we'll admit that, yes, the Republicans have always gerrymandered too. I mean, it's just, it is a fact of life, but, the absolute outrage that has been going on right now with the left has been,
it's fine when we
hilarious.
Do it, but when we do it, it's evil. You need to be stopped.
It's always that double standard.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's funny. I mean, with the left, the double standards are fine as long as it's in their favor.
Always in their favor.
Which Baby Trump addresses in his question and answer.
If Texas redrawing their congressional map would get you 5 safe red seats, means that California, New York, Illinois, and Maryland are all going to redraw their maps to add safe.
Well, they'll do it anyway.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, they'll do it anyway. Why? If we stop over there, they would have done it anyway. Look, a lot of these states, I watched this morning as Democrats are complaining, and they're complaining from states where they've done it, like in Illinois, like in Massachusetts. I watched this lunatic, Pocahontas. She's a total lunatic. I don't know what she's on. She's all jumping up and down like I've never seen.
Baby Elizabeth Warren makes me laugh every time I see it.
Still wearing the pantsuit.
Yep.
Yeah, they like it. Talking about supporting the communist mayor. And he's not a socialist. He's a communist, okay? This is not a socialist man. This is a communist. If you look at any of his policies and go back 6 months, you don't even have to go back further than that. So they want to put a communist in New York. Now, the good news is we have a lot of power over that because we're the ones with the money. We send the money. We don't send the money.
Angry Baby Scott Bessent might also be one of my winners right here.
It's up to the White House. A lot of power in the White House.
Pretty good.
But when I watched her jumping up and down talking about that and supporting the communists, but if you look at what's going on with the redistricting or whatever you want to call it, the Democrats have done it long before we started. They've done it all over the place.
Pritzker.
Yeah, holding up. I got to admit, I was a little surprised that Colbert actually was the one who was like, you're on my show. Here, let me, you're calling out redistricting. Look at Illinois. Yeah, he held up the map to show the really giant squiggle. I was like, I didn't expect
Colbert's
that.
got nothing to lose
New York.
at this
They did
point.
it in a lot of different states. But in Massachusetts, so somebody used this as an example today. I was interviewed this morning, and they said, it's pretty unfair. Trump got 40%. I'm not proud of that, but I think I probably got more, but that's okay. I got 40% in Massachusetts, and yet they have 100% of the vote in terms of Congress. So there's no Republican, there's no anything. So we should have 40%. You know why? They redistricted. And they've done it all over the place. And they've done it in California, by the way. Before this, they've done it in California. So we'll see what happens. We have a wonderful governor in Texas. He feels strongly about it. It's going to be up to him. I think there's tremendous support for it. And, you know, we've watched the Democrats destroy our country in 4 years. They've destroyed, between their open borders that we talked about, transgender for everybody, all of the horrible things that they've done, high taxes, horrible medical provision for people.
Why does it constantly look like Baby Doocy is dropping a deuce as
What's
Trump
in the
is
name?
explaining things?
He is a doozy.
We've watched them destroy our country for 4 years, and people don't want that. And people in Texas, as you saw, I got the highest vote in the history of Texas. I love Texas.
Baby
Texas
Ted
likes
Cruz
me, obviously.
has to beard.
But I got the highest vote, and that was checked out on the show. Did you see that, where they checked it out? They said he actually did get the highest vote in the history of Texas, which disappointed them. They were very disappointed to hear that. But Texas is a place that's done very well with a free enterprise kind of an attitude, with the exact opposite of what's happening in New York with a communist
They
mayor.
actually got Abbott's hair pretty
And
well.
They know what they're doing, and they're doing the right thing. Yeah.
Diaper diplomacy. He did.
The baby politicians are the new videos I prefer for my real world press clips.
Chad has a bit of an obsession with them. He's got 2 or 3 of them every single week that he's
Baby
showing us
Trump
in the
makes me
background.
just laugh every time, because seeing the little baby, and they put the hair on him, and then the Trump voice coming out when he's like, Pocahontas over there.
Yeah, she looks all surprised. That was funny.
Well, what that's led to is all the Texas Democrats running and hiding, because you cannot do anything without a quorum. We talked a little bit about it last week, but there's been some other developments. They've now missed the deadline of Friday. All of the auto deposits for their paychecks have been shut off by Governor Wheels, and a few other things have happened. Beto O'Rourke's foundation has been told you are not allowed to fundraise, and you are not allowed to continue to pay for these people to flaunt the law. In fact, Beto O'Rourke's house and properties have all had liens placed against them in order to keep him from fundraising anymore on the Democrats all running and hiding. So,
Oh no, how awful.
yeah, so his PAC, at least his fundraising PAC, is called Powered by the People, and it looks like most of the money that these people are using to run and hide and probably stay in very nice penthouses and everything is probably coming from him, along with Soros, which is personal donations from a political PAC, which technically not allowed, illegal in the state of Texas. So you could see some action on that. I would love to see some action on that. We'll see how far Abbott wants to push it, but I would love to see them start vacating seats as they've threatened.
That would be fantastic. I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath, but it would be nice to see that for a change. The issue is, you know, I mentioned this last time, is that anytime they want to do a redistricting in Texas, the Democrats always take off. They've been doing this shit since the 90s, because, you know, the Republicans have been
It's just
largely
any law
controlling
that
them.
they don't fully agree with. Like,
Well,
if
yeah,
you,
I mean,
if you try
it's-
to kick girls or boys out of girls' sports, they're going to run.
Well, it's
If
like
you try
I'm
to do
trying to
anything about
remember.
abortion,
Yeah, like I said, a lot. This isn't anything new for the Democrats.
No.
What ends up happening, it's a tactic, it's a stunt. Ultimately, they eventually come back. There's a vote, and they lose. Well, the Democrats lose, I should say. The Republicans pass what they want.
right, because they've got the majority.
Yeah.
They just don't have a quorum. But if you start vacating seats, we'll see. But there needs to be some consequences at some point.
There does, but this is all for
gamesmanship
show.
in politics is getting so stupid. Just
Yeah.
do your job. You're getting
And-
paid
and-
to work for the people of your state, not to run and hide and live in, 5-star hotels for a month to avoid a vote.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like I said, the main issue here is that they've been doing this for a long time. There does need to be consequences. It would be nice to see that, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah, me either. But again, we can dream, right?
Right. I mean, eventually, like I said, the Republicans will get what they want because the Democrats will come back eventually. And you know that it always happens. It's just a stunt, and they do it so they can get the notoriety. If they get arrested, they can martyr themselves, and you know it's just dumb. But they do it to quote unquote energize their base, right? Because they're fighting oppression and authoritarianism because the naughty Republicans are doing the things that they always do. God forbid.
Yeah. So this could have some effect on Jasmine Crockett, who is kind of a side story for this week, because Jasmine Crockett may lose her district out from under her.
Oh no! How
with this
how
redistricting. But
I feel
what's
so
been
sad
funny
for
about I know it'll be great if it happens. Her response was, "If I want to be in the House, I'm going to be in the House." So I don't
She
know.
gotta,
if
like,
she
crawl
knows
through a
something
window or
we
something?
don't. Sure. Yeah, she'll probably have what's his face go pull the fire alarm so she can sneak in. But some interesting things came out from about Jasmine Crockett from some of the staffers in DC. Apparently, she is just an absolute spoiled bitch.
shocked, I tell you.
She refuses to
I'm
leave.
shocked to find gambling happening at this establishment. Shocked.
Yes. She refuses to leave her penthouse apartment place and basically just sits there all day if there's not a camera around. The staff says that she is one of the worst people in all of Washington, and she does stuff like makes them chauffeur her around, her staff. But she rents out an Escalade for every week to drive around in while she's in DC because she won't be caught dead in some staffer's vehicle. So, yeah. Spoiled bitch. Would love to see her go. Actually, at this point, if they keep threatening it, I would love to see her run for the presidency, her and AOC. I mean, that would just be fantastic. I mean, they're threatening it. It'd be a pretty hilarious run.
It's like, oh no, don't throw me into that briar patch.
Yeah. Please don't stop.
We got $2 from Toxic Man Flu. I wonder if Abbott will roll over the Dems. Governor Wheels.
Indeed.
Oh, she also apparently has been calling him Governor Hot Wheels, and then said, no, that's just because of the way he's doing the transportation committee and stuff.
Yeah,
And then
sure.
then it was found that she has liked on tons of Twitter and Instagram posts anytime somebody calls him Governor Hot Wheels as a derogative term. So we use it as a term of endearment. They're not doing that so much. But
Well, I mean, that's the thing I find so annoying. It's like I've been saying this shit for years, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
like stop copying me.
well, you're down there too. So.
I know. I mean, not that they're really copying me. I'm not the only one that calls him Governor Wheels. It's just funny.
Yeah, but he's your governor, so you get more
Yeah, he's my
leeway.
governor. Yeah.
I mean, technically, he's Crockett's governor too, but she's not saying it in a nice way.
No, she's not. But she's a hoe.
Also, Toxic Man Flu gifts 5 Brahma Bowl memberships. Those go to Deeple, GJJ, Jeremiah Hembry, Released McCracken, and Deacon Blackblade. Thank you very much, Tox. Yeah, Deeple actually mentioned me and you, Comix, on a Twitter thread this afternoon. Stuttering Craig asking who people's favorite podcasters or show hosts that he should get together with, and Deeple mentioned me and you. So
That's cool. I mean, I've met Craig once before at a meetup, so
yeah, I've met him.
I don't know if he remembers
We've
me,
never
but-
done anything, but we're all gamers, right? Even little Chad with his super same as my computer.
I know. I got shamed into buying it a year later, so it's fine.
Yeah,
It works. Although mine apparently doesn't sound like it's taking off the same way yours does with that anti-cheat system.
Well, you got it like 6 months to a year later, so I think you got the upgraded video card in yours. So that may be the difference. I don't know. It could also be because it's sitting out here in a garage with me smoking all the time, so the fans may be working overtime. Who knows? So where do we want to go next? You want to talk about the Bureau of Labor Statistics?
Oh, about how we finally got rid of the idiot that was running it? Yeah, let's bring that up.
Yes. So Trump fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics after yet another report where it had to be revised over and over and over. Over the past, 2 years, we found out that basically Joe Biden created absolutely no jobs because the Bureau of Labor and Statistics was constantly wrong in putting out a number and then revising it down.
I mean, is anyone shocked by this?
No, but I'm shocked that the Bureau of Labor and Statistics has one job and they can't get it even close to right. So I'm fine with Trump firing her because you have one job just to get the data right and couldn't be done.
So
That's an impossibility. To be as wrong as she was is like a statistical impossibility.
It's
See what you did
not.
there.
It's not wrong. I mean, it's not because the way the Bureau of Labor Statistics does their unemployment data is basically a public opinion poll. They
Right.
do it. They do it by polling people. So that is subject to wild swings if you don't put in the right checks and balances to account for data integrity when it comes to polling. If you're
Sure.
and now that doesn't mean that I'm letting this lady off the hook. She's in charge of putting together the data integrity and making sure that everything is being done to make to get accurate numbers. What actually, and that's why we get these wild swings, because they weren't doing anything to check and balance their public opinion polling style data collection.
Right.
And it would take, and then within several months, when they got the real data from like unemployment claims and actual hard economic statistics, they would do their revisions. So that's where
To nothing.
exactly. Now, in this case,
Maybe
one of
they
the
should get
things,
Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen up in there.
yeah. Now, one of the things that Trump, I think, he's right and he's wrong in that he's right that the jobs data being constantly wrong shows this person's inept and they should be fired. But he's actually
Yes.
wrong in the fact that it's not bad news that we got these revisions, because if you dig into the numbers, what the revisions represent is foreign born employees being removed from the economic system of the United States, because they are counted as people who work here.
Right.
So they kept revising back because they found out, oopsie, what do you know? We've lost a lot of foreign born workers that suddenly went poof, magic disappeared.
Yeah. Say deported or self-deported or any number of other things that may have happened. Which says
Yeah, so
ultimately that yes, we're getting rid of people. That's opening up jobs.
because based on the revisions, we've had a net gain of around 100,000 jobs since Trump took office. But if you get to the actual deep down stats, we've had a gain of 1.5 million for native born Americans and a loss of 1.4 million for foreign born workers who are not U.S. citizens, which under the Bureau of Labor Statistics looks like a net gain of only 100,000. What it to me looks like is clearing a lot of dead weight and giving jobs to Americans again.
Yeah, putting Americans back in the jobs. They're taking our jobs. So, do you know who he put in there, or has he put anybody in there yet?
I don't. I think he's put an acting director, but hasn't nominated one yet.
Okay. One thing he did do, as far as an actual appointment, is he put Scott Bessent in charge of the IRS after clearing out the guy who had been functioning there for 4 months now. And he did give that guy another job. He didn't just outright
He's going to
fire
be an
him. I think he
ambassador.
made him an ambassador. Yeah, I can't remember to where, but that wasn't a complete disgrace. It was basically getting Bessent where he kind of wants him, I think, because Bessent has been kind of the architect of Trumponomics. Along with Trump, he's been the one kind of giving us that plan for how to get America back on board. So
So,
Now we've
so
got
is
somebody we
Trumponomics
actually
like Reaganomics, but less retarded?
We hope so. We haven't gotten to see it fully implemented yet, so
Yeah, so Trumponomics is based on reshoring jobs and also
manufacturing.
putting baseline tariffs in, so we get an economic boon for people purchasing to have access to our market when we should have been doing that for a long time.
Along with cutting taxes, along with lowering the interest rate so that companies that we're trying to bring back here and manufacturing that we're trying to bring back here can actually afford to get the business loans in order to start new businesses and get those buildings built here. So all of those factors are all part of the well, I don't think anybody's calling it Trumponomics, but we'll
It's just
go
funny
with
to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so Bessent's going to be in charge of the IRS. At least we've got somebody in there that is probably going to be a little bit more kind to the conservative causes than we've had in the past, like Lois Lerner.
Well, more than that, they're also doing mass firings and reduction in workforces at the IRS, which is helpful.
Yes,
They didn't need
and
to
not
staff
hiring
up.
87,000.
I believe they're being offered transfers to the CBP
To ICE.
and ICE if they want to do that, but shockingly, they're not as interested.
Yeah, weird. They don't want to deal with the illegals. They'd rather harass American citizens. Strange.
Yeah. Yeah. I can figure.
Did you guys see Dean Cain signed up to be an ICE agent?
I did. I find that to be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. Superman is now an ICE agent.
I mean,
So I think he got deputized.
yeah. Well, I mean, they did like an interview where he's talking about it, and he's not like, super crazy. No. He's more kind of like a spokesman. He's not actually going to be going on raids or anything like that.
Yeah. It's kind of like letting Steven Seagal pretend he's a cop for a few days. That kind
Right.
Well, Dean Cain's already a licensed or not licensed, whatever, certified law enforcement officer in 2 districts in the United States. One
Yeah.
of them is where I live. He's actually he would come out here and actually work a shift every few months. It was weird, but so
I don't.
I
I
the
think
other
he'll be
place
going
he's-
on raids in the same way that Christy Nome does. Let
I
it,
think
let,
they're-
let the real guys do the work and then do the photo op and be a spokesperson.
I think part of the plan is to maybe have Dean Cain be the one in there because they were getting a little bit of blowback for Ice Barbie. So
Yeah.
Park. That's funny.
Well, South Park got her good.
They did. I mean, that's just pretty fucking funny.
Did you watch it this week, Chad?
no, I don't have cable, so I didn't watch it.
No, okay.
I don't even which streaming service is it on again? Is it Paramount?
It's on Paramount, yeah. I believe. No, is it? Yes.
Yeah, I think it's Paramount. Yeah.
It's Paramount. But it's also just on Comedy Central. So, but you have to have cable. So on this week's episode, it was the Charlie Kirk episode. So they had Cartman pretending to be Charlie Kirk doing campus things and yelling at people, "You like abortions" and "Hate America," that kind of stuff. But they also had Counselor Mackey join up with ICE because he had to get his nut. And
Well, yeah, he got laid off from his job because apparently they're cutting school counselors from schools now. And again, this is stuff that I don't think is actually happening, but it's just kind of funny that they're doing this because I feel like a lot of what's happening this season is a bunch of hyperbole, and and this plays into the whole thing with Mackey getting fired, so he joins ICE. It's pretty funny.
and then becomes the top agent and gets a trip to Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah,
to
by
meet
accident.
Trump.
That's the funny part. He keeps apologizing to the illegals he's arresting. And
I'm sorry, okay?
yeah,
The
the
drugs are bad, okay.
the shit that's fucking hilarious was like when you had ICE going and raiding this Dora the Explorer on ICE event.
Yes.
It was so fucking funny because it's over the top. And
They
then
arrest half of the parents and then half of the cast of Dora the Explorer on ice.
yeah. So. It's kind of funny. And The people that are kind of like freaking out over it are kind of freaking out over nothing. It's like, come on, it's all right.
But they got Christy Nome good because
They
every
did.
time, after about 3 minutes of talking, her face would slide off of her skull and try to run away, and they'd have to have a pit crew come back in and put it back together.
Yeah.
And every time she saw a dog, she immediately opened fire and shot it like 25 times.
Yeah. And
including
Talks, I saw your
Crypto.
message. Yes, including crypto.
Crypto at the end of the episode.
Well, the episode ends up culminating with them doing an ice raid in heaven to arrest the illegals in heaven. And there's like already a dead dog that she shot previously in the episode. She shoots it again.
She shoots the dog that went to heaven. So.
Oh man, it's so fucking funny.
I mean, we can laugh at ourselves. We can laugh at them doing jokes about us satirically. Me and Comix have talked about it on other shows, but the whole thing with Trump himself is being very lazy. But even like I said, I think appears.
Yeah, I think they're building up to something. And the other thing too, I've kind of coming to the conclusion on with this episode is like all the stuff that's happening in the episode, like, you know, with them firing school counselors and cutting budgets for schools and whatnot, is shit that's not actually happening. So I think it kind of plays into like the over exaggeration of what the left thinks that Trump is actually doing. At least that's my interpretation of it.
The things that they accuse him of that haven't actually happened.
Yeah, exactly.
But JD Vance also appeared in the episode as a tiny JD Vance.
Yeah, his tattoo.
And his tattoo. And JD Vance's response was, "I finally made it" on Twitter. That was what he had tweeted out. So everybody except for Nome and Trump himself, which Trump has backed off, but Nome kind of went out there after they hit her a bit. She went out there and made some stupid comments, but even then, I think now she's using the episode to recruit for ICE again. So,
if she was smart, that's what she would do.
Well, they had like 200,000 applicants within a day of the episode airing, something like that. So
nice.
It apparently worked as an ICE recruitment thing because they were talking about the 6-figure salary and the $50,000 signing bonus. So I'm sure some people will be happy to go for that.
Yeah,
the big beautiful bill did have a lot of stupid money in there for ICE and Homeland Security. So
yeah, basically reapportioned from the IRS to ICE. Just not directly, but yeah.
I mean,
I'm some money in getting into ICE.
It works fine. It's just, if you know, there's something.
There's millions of people we got to clear out.
We're still got. I would conservatively, there's still probably 30+ million here that shouldn't be.
Yeah. I do love the stories on Twitter. This guy's been here for 30 years, but he never just bothered to actually get his citizenship. Is this what you voted for? It's like, yes. Yeah. What do you guys not get about this? If you're not here legally, that's what we voted for. Get out. I don't care if you've been here for 60 years. If you never went through the process, even after being here 60 years, you couldn't even apply and at least get on the list or do anything. No, get out. So,
well, it's even more fun because usually they put in like the 27th paragraph. Now in 2008, they were convicted of check fraud, identity theft, and wire fraud, but you know, that was back then.
Yeah, there's currently a judge trying to stop people being deported if they're in the current parole system, which means to be in the parole system, you would have had to have done something to now be paroled out of prison. So it's like, okay, so that's who you want to stop, is the ones that are on parole for, you know, good behavior while in prison for something. The left just doesn't make any sense. I mean, no common sense amongst any of them at this point.
Well, I mean, of course, bro. That's kind of how it works, man. I mean, why would you want to parole people that were good when you can let out the bad ones?
Yeah, and then keep them here because you can't deport the ones that have been paroled. They've already proven that they're good guys. Remember?
Yes.
Crazy. What else do we have, Chad? Did you have anything? I've got quite a few left, but
yeah, I mean, I know we've still got lots of topics, but you go
Yeah.
ahead and guide it, whatever you.
All right. How about this one next? Trump ended yet another foreign war this week.
Through the power
So this is
of economics.
Yeah, through the power of economics. So this is what, his fourth or fifth war that he stopped now? Long-standing war. So this was between Azerbaijan and Armenia, another long-standing conflict. And through the power of tariffs and the power of the Trump effect, another war stopped. Yet, if anybody mentions the Nobel Peace Prize, it's just Trump pandering.
Oh,
That,
yeah,
that's
totally.
that's the take I've heard so far. You got anything on that one, Chad?
Yeah, the real reason they don't want to acknowledge that is because to the uniparty, the establishment state, whatever you want to brand it, creating a playbook of using the economic might of the United States to end wars with not having to lob a missile, no airstrikes, nothing that will make Raytheon, Booz Allen Hamilton, or any of these government contractors' third quarter reports have a blip, an uptick because the government has to order more missiles, is the absolute antithesis of what they want. To them, airstrikes, predator drones, this, that, and the other, that's how you win the Nobel Peace Prize. You don't do it by leveraging the one thing we are an untouched superpower in this entire world is economic hegemony. We are the only one who can rally that kind of economic power. And willfully using that as ending wars left and right without having to put a boot on the ground, without having to put a drone in the air, and they absolutely can't stand it. Like Lindsey Graham can never, have a self-gratification session over this kind of peace settlement. So it has to end. By the way, I hope they let him nowhere near the meeting with Putin in Alaska next week.
Oh, God, yeah.
Which is where I was going to go next, because
Yep.
he ended one war this week, and he's got a conference with Putin in Alaska next week. So I can't remember who it was. Somebody said now Sarah Palin will actually be able to say she can see Putin from her front
From her
porch.
house.
Yeah,
I can see Russia from my house.
Which is
was
something she
never
never
actually
actually
heard.
said. It was
I
Tina
know.
Fey.
That was
so,
Tina
yeah.
Fey.
Oh, I know, you know.
Yeah.
But there are still some people out there that think that Sarah Palin actually said that and not Tina Fey. Granted, the Tina Fey impression was pretty good.
Was yeah,
But the
no,
fact
it was spot on.
Yeah, the fact
Did you-
that
did you see
people
the
actually
episode?
attribute most of Tina Fey's comments to Sarah Palin was absolutely insane.
Did you see the episode where Tina Fey met Sarah Palin and she just kind of walked past her, giving her this fucking dirty look on Saturday Night Live?
I don't
That's
know if
pretty
I saw that one.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
But
they used to let them. I mean, what was great is the absolute conniption and shit they had when they let Trump on in 2016. That was the best.
yeah, it's kind of nice so far. We haven't had an Alec Baldwin sighting on SNL in this term, have we? I mean, I haven't been watching, so
I don't
know.
think so.
No, they
Also,
don't allow
Baldwin.
firearms in New York City.
Dun, dun. But yeah, so we don't have them just constantly Alec Baldwining every single Saturday night, doing his pretty bad Trump impression. But yeah, Putin's gonna go meet with Trump. It sounds like Trump is asking for some land concessions, probably nothing that's already not been taken, and probably moving the lines a little bit. Zelensky's seemingly not very happy that Trump is going to be trying to negotiate without him being there. But I think, as we all know, the Ukraine side of it is a lost cause. At this point, you might as well get something that's agreeable with Putin and then take it to Zelensky and tell him, this is kind of what you got. Because this was never a war that Ukraine could actually win. So, I mean, what's the point of having Zelensky there? Because all he does is open his stupid mouth every time he's around Trump or talking to Putin through through the news, and he blows everything up every single time that he gets a chance.
Yeah, and to like David P in chat, who's like Big Z has already said he won't agree to any land changing hands. If Trump and Putin come out and say they've made a deal and it's based on the Donbass going to Russia with a buffer zone between, like whatever you want to call it, demilitarized zone, peace zone, buffer zone, whatever, and that's going to be the new Ukraine borders now. Ukraine buffer zone, Donbass is now part of Russia along with Crimea. We've made the deal. The U.S. is acknowledging this deal. If Ukraine continues to fight to try to take many more borders, we're not supporting them anymore. We're not sending you your Coke money for the month. I mean, that's where the question would come out. It's because there's a reality, which is if the United States, if Trump comes out and says he's made this peace deal and Putin says no more advancing, we're just now solidifying our lines and this is what it is, are the Republicans in Congress going to try to override him to send money to because even if they allocate money, Trump just won't send it.
Sure. And
so
Zelensky doesn't really get a choice in the matter. I mean, sure, he's the head of Ukraine, but I mean, he has no bargaining chips. So that's kind of what Trump told him in that meeting in the office months ago now, where Zelensky got a dressing down from J.D. Vance. So we may be finally seeing an end to that conflict. We'll see, but it should be an interesting one.
And here's where
there has been some talk
in.
that Zelensky may be invited last minute, but I don't know that we'll see that.
Here's the politics from the Trump side too. He's been getting hammered on the Epstein list. Hammered. There's a giant, in terms of the Venn diagram of the segment of his supporters who care about the Epstein list, it's about 99% overlap with the people who don't want us in Ukraine anymore at all.
Right.
If Trump finally brings an end to the Ukraine conflict and ostensibly our giant funding of the Zelensky regime, that will go a long way to help him build bridges or get those people back on his side on a polling level, because this is a win that they really want. So if you're Trump, one of the ways to get people to move on from the Epstein list issue is to give them the W on the war in Ukraine that they've wanted since he was running for election.
Sure. Which would effectively do that, yeah. I don't think anything's going to get some people off the Epstein issue, and for the most part, it shouldn't. But we do have to look at the other things that are being accomplished and hope that Bondi does her job at some point, and that Cash and Bongino are actually trustworthy as we thought they were. So another thing that we had talked about last week was Judge Janine Pirro being brought in as the special, not special, the head prosecutor in the D.C. area. So I'm sure you guys remember the two Jewish, not diplomats, but young people that were shot outside of the, what was it, some kind of dinner or a gala? Do you remember what I'm talking about a couple months ago?
No, actually, I don't.
So a guy killed a young Jewish guy and a young Jewish gal. They had some kind of diplomatic status in D.C. So Judge Janine, in her first week there, she's going for the death sentence. She's tacking on hate crime legislation on it and going for the actual death sentence, because
are these the people that were like beaten savagely?
No, they were shot to death.
Oh, they were shot. Oh, they were shot. Okay, because I know that there was like something where some white people were pretty beaten savagely at some event or something like that.
That was in
Cincinnati.
Okay.
And they're doing pretty much nothing. But
go figure.
So she is bringing hate crime legislation because the guy basically had written out a manifesto, and one of the last things that he is reported as saying is, this is for Palestine, blah, blah, blah. So Judge Janine's hitting the ground running. I like to see it.
Yeah, use those laws against them, because
Yes.
I was very much against the hate crime legislation that came out in the 90s, because it's like, it's already a crime. It doesn't matter what you do. If you go murder somebody, it's still fucking murder. It doesn't matter what your motivations
So the way
are.
they got around it is that the hate crime legislation technically acts as not as a separate crime, but as a modifier. You know how sometimes you can have, depending on the type of crime, there's circumstances that increase the penalties that are involved. They're,
Right.
aggravating
factors.
circumstances.
Yeah.
So the hate crime legislation becomes an aggravator. Like, you're still charged with the baseline assault, murder, whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
But when you have the additional rider of the hate crime, it becomes, well, now you're subject to mandatory minimums 10 times higher, or the death penalty, or whatever.
Or the death penalty itself. Or it can also bring in the feds, where it would normally be a local jurisdiction, I believe. The feds can get involved if it's
Yeah,
deemed
which
a
is
hate crime.
which is how up in
The
Minnesota.
Michael Brown situation.
I was going to say in Minnesota with the cop that got convicted for Floyd.
Chauvin.
The
Chauvin,
reason
yeah.
he made the deal with the federal one was because they were holding the hate crime part over his head. And if he had been convicted on the hate crime modifier on the federal level, it would have been.
You mean the reason he made the deal on the state one, right?
No, he made the
Or
deal for the
He
federal.
made the deal on the federal?
He
Okay.
was convicted in court on the state.
On the state.
And he made the plea bargain with the federal.
And it's also the reason in like the Michael Brown situation, I believe they were investigating it as a hate crime. The hands up, don't shoot crap.
Which was
And
all
that's where
bullshit.
Obama's people had to come out and say from the feds, yeah, there was nothing there. So that's also how that one, I believe, got turned into a federal investigation, is through the hate crime legislation. So
Yeah, like I said, all of that's bullshit. I hate the fact that they have it as a modifier or a multiplier or whatever. It's a bunch of nonsense. If somebody goes out and commits a crime and it's already against the law, obviously there's a law for it. You don't need to add on this modifier bullshit.
I agree. But like you said, I like that they're going to turn it back against
Yes.
the use that they have been using it for, which is
Indeed.
always one direction.
It's like
And
when
I
Title
like
IX
that
gets
it's
used
gonna
against
bring the
women.
death sentence in.
Yeah, it's like when Title IX gets used against women, and they start complaining. That's not what it was made for. It's like, well, too bad.
You turf comics division.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Totally.
I think David has it right. The guy was employed at the Israeli embassy. The girl was his girlfriend. He was actually supposed to be traveling to Israel to propose to her when he met her family like 2 days later. So
That's sad.
all in all, it was a pretty sad story, but it also went pretty under the radar in a lot of areas. So, but happy to see Justice, or not Justice, Judge Janine, actually hit the ground running and getting something out there immediately after she's taken over. So, good stuff there. What do we got left? We already talked about the head of the IRS. Bongino and Patel gave some updates. Let me see if I can find those on just what kind of arrests and everything that has been done. Bongino kind of declared that this is kind of the beginning of the beginning, that they've got lots more that's coming. But they did kind of give a list of all of the arrests and other things that have been happening in the meantime. I think it was something like 7,000 child traffickers, and rescued over 1,000 children. Not seeing where the bookmark is though. Chad, you got anything on that?
I mean, I know
I know I had it bookmarked.
and they finally got rid of a couple people on the executive level. But
Yes.
when those people got fired, when they left the office, it was just like that video clip we watched. I think it was on the week you were out, of the State Department employees getting sauntered out and having like standing ovations for them.
Yeah.
The rank and file FBI were standing out there to give them like a big old send off. I would, if I was Cash Patel,
So-
I would take the cameras and immediately go, they're all fired. They're all gone.
So they did that for Giardina. I don't think they did it for the former director Driscoll. Giardina was just a special agent that was assigned to investigate something. So the story from the rank and file is he was just doing the job that he was told to do. I don't care, but
Bullshit.
that's kind of what they're going
No.
with.
He was giddy about doing raids on people. So
Yeah.
no.
But that's
No,
the
no,
story
no,
that they're
no.
going with on
I
the
know,
left. So
but-
just so everybody kind of knows, we have seen that. We don't buy it, but that's the one specifically that they were lining up 200 people in the halls to salute him on his way out. But they got rid of former acting director Brian Driscoll, special agent Walter Giardina, and Washington Field Office Chief Steve Jensen, and promised that more are expected. So we're at least seeing some firings now. I would still like to see some prosecutions, but I would love to see more people fired
No, absolutely.
quickly and start clearing out all these idiots. So we had that happen this week, but Bongino basically said, there is a ton of crap coming, but so far even though they haven't done anything on the Epstein stuff, which Bongino and Patel, even though they were both very outspoken, they weren't the ones that got into office and immediately said, yeah, we've got everything on Epstein. They were the ones who were quiet. Bondi's the one who got out ahead of her skis. So I'm fine with giving them some more leeway as long as they're doing something somewhere. And it looks like with the arrest of a ton of child traffickers, the seizure of a ton of fentanyl, and saving at least 1,000 kids that were actively being trafficked, they're at least doing something that the FBI is supposed to be doing.
It's about fucking time, man.
Yes, seeing some arrest about child trafficking is a good thing. So, unfortunately, I can't find the bookmark that had the exact numbers on everything that they had been compiling. So, but that's kind of an update on that.
Yeah, it's a perfectly. These would normally be kind of stuff, and no, Bondi is not actively trying to sabotage Trump. She is actively trying to take care of Susie Wiles. There's a slight difference. In operation.
Take care of her like the lesbian way?
No, to take care of her interests, pharmaceutical. Yeah. It's money. It's always money. Money. Which is sad because Susie Wiles is Pat Summerall's daughter, so I don't want her to be a scumbag, but it looks like she is.
Yep. So, I mean, that's most of the things that I had just the basic notes on. If you've got some video and stuff, we should.
Yeah, I got a fun video
play
for
some
us
of
to
those.
share. I'm gonna mute it because I don't want you copyright struck for the music. But as a difference
fine.
goes, because they do YMCA, I don't know. Do they not strike you for that one?
I think they probably will.
I'm sure they would.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if it's
So,
YMCA, then we can all just sing along in our heads.
Tim Hayes, Susie Wiles is the White House chief of staff. She was the campaign manager. She comes out of Florida, and she's knee deep in Florida money and politics.
Right.
Which
Oh,
is why
gotta share
Bondi was the replacement for Gates. All right, so this is a Dancing with the Stars episode out of Israel. So you'll be able to see how they're more comfortable with Trump. This is Trump and Melania as the basis. So they're, right now it's the national anthem, but then it breaks into YMCA. So just in terms of like, hey, different countries see Trump different ways in pop culture. I find it amusing.
It's kind of amusing.
Because apparently they get a big old standing ovation because and I can see why in Israel Trump is pretty beloved. So yeah, so it's just a funny little send off.
Sorry, I missed where this was from. Is it
Israel.
Israel's Got Talent?
Israel's Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. So it just keeps, they had her, the professional female dancer as Melania and the goofy celebrity as Trump. Yeah, even muted, you can hear the YMCA when he does the Trump dance.
Right. But he hasn't really done the Trump dance yet.
He did it a little at the beginning. I think now
At
he
the beginning?
technically has to get the whatever the official dance they're doing is, which I think is the Paso Doble. My wife would be able to tell you exactly like that. If it was this or Love Island, she'd know everything. So we can, I guess you can stop here. I just thought I saw that and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. It's just because like here, obviously Trump, like none of the network television,
Nobody
people
would dare do
will
that.
acknowledge. Yeah, that
No,
Trump is
not in the
back.
slightest.
I've got the clip of Jimmy Kimmel talking about how he got Italian citizenship so he could leave.
Oh, good.
Did you see
we
that
might
one?
get rid of Jimmy? No, I didn't.
Here we go. Share the screen.
Did you guys happen to catch Greg Gutfeld on Fallon?
I know that Fallon got like raked over the coals for having him on there. And by the way, I think it's kind of weird that he does like a podcast with his ex-girlfriend / fiance. Weird. All right.
Oh,
A
so-
lot of
here's
people
the
I know are
scary thing.
thinking about where they can get
I was gonna say, is that Sarah Silverman?
Yep.
citizenship.
Looking kind of
I
rough.
do have Italian. I did get Italian citizenship.
You do?
I
Oh,
do.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
I do have
Now
that.
can you
and
marry
what's
me?
going on is as bad as you thought it was going.
By the way, I've usually argued against the concept of hitting the wall, but then I just saw Sarah Silverman, so
Yeah, she's looking really rough.
yeah.
Yeah.
to be
Way worse.
It's so much worse. It's just unbelievable. Like I feel like it's probably even worse than he would like it to be.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do every once in a while I'll Google Trump regrets or MAGA regrets.
The idea. All right. I love that. Like, it's so much worse than even Trump thought it would be. No, I'm getting
I'd like
what
to
I
know
voted
what
for.
is actually so bad. I mean, is it only the people being deported? I mean, I know they
guess.
whine about everything else, but you haven't felt anything. The only thing that has actually been out there physical is kind of the deportations. So I guess that would be horrible for people in their situation in Hollywood, but it really hasn't been anything other than gas and eggs coming down.
Kimmel's like, when I did the full body blackface, it was a immigrant who helped me with that makeup. I can't do that again because they're not here.
It was a
It's just
Haitian.
to
That
see
way we recovered.
all the people that I'm not happy that they're upset and but it makes me hope that maybe this will bring people together. A lot
mean,
of
here's
people
the
I know are
scary thing.
thinking about
Yeah, so that's the clip where Kimmel's like, I got Italian citizenship, so I could go and leave then, because the European Union is
good for
is
you, I guess.
so much, better.
Well, I mean, chances are Kimmel and a few others are not going to have jobs going forward either.
No.
Just like Colbert. The View may never come back from a hiatus.
Oh no, how awful! My God, what's happening? I don't understand.
The only one that got an extension so far is Fallon, right after he had Gutfeld on. So, if you didn't see it, it was actually pretty funny. I mean, it was a good appearance from Gutfeld. He wasn't rubbing it in that he's the king of late night now. He kind of told a story about when they had met before, but Fallon didn't remember it because they were both so drunk. They were in some speakeasy. And Fallon came up the second Gutfeld walked in and started talking to him, and was like, we got to go to this other party. And then they ended up going to like 2 other parties that night and were so pissed drunk that Fallon didn't even know that he had met Greg, but he just piled him into his car with Greg's entourage and Fallon's entourage, and they just hit up a whole bunch of places. But
Now here's a
Fallon,
question.
I think, is at least trying to appear like he's not completely political.
Fallon actually
the talk
isn't
is that he
political.
was kind of forced into political
He-
rather
yeah,
than
Really?
being inherently political.
Well, remember, Fallon had Trump on, and
yeah, because he got
Fallon
yelled at
was-
for touching his hair and joking around with that.
and they just absolutely destroyed him for platforming Trump. So Fallon has been like basically doing the Joey Swole apology
Part of the
tour
gang.
for the last
Yeah.
several years. But Fallon he's not an ideologue. He will go where the money requires him to go. And if
He'll
if
still
the-
not be funny. But
yeah, well, if the winds they are a changing and blowing towards to this side going, he'll go that way. That's how it'll go. Out of the 3 late night hosts on NBC, ABC, and CBS, he's the one who's actually apolitical and was just doing what he thought
going
was,
along to get along.
was the going along to get along. Whereas, Kimmel is bad and Colbert is the worst. Like Kimmel and Colbert are on a whole different side of the spectrum.
And Oliver's right up there with him.
No, I know.
I can't
know
stand John Oliver.
I know you hate the WNBA, Brahma, but I have an other alternative female sport for you to watch instead.
Okay. What do we
This
got?
is a clip from 2024, the women's
Volleyball?
volleyball championship. Here you go.
Nice swimsuit.
There you go. I mean, there's an alternative sport for you.
Yeah.
You
I
can just
watch
enjoy
volleyball
that.
every Olympics.
By the way, they won the title.
It's just slightly better than than curling in the Winter Olympics.
So
I'm serious. Winter Olympics, women's curling. There's some hot women on some of those teams. There's also some incredibly ugly women.
And they know how to
There's
sweep.
some
Is
hot
that what you're
ones.
about to say?
Yes.
It's like, I know they can work a broom.
They know the work. They know the assignment.
If they can work a broom on ice, they can handle my vinyl flooring.
Lamb.
Sure, that's what we're all thinking. Metal flooring. Sure.
Other funny things that are going on in the country right now. Bernie Sanders is on a tour of red states trying to get them to come back to the Democrat Party because Bernie Sanders is the one that's going to get them back. He's been in, 2 or 3 states, including West Virginia this week, just going around and having, gigantic crowds of like 2,000 to 3,000 people, everybody. He's shifting everything. I love that. Basically, his line of talk with everybody right now is, in many ways, the Democratic Party has turned its back on what is its base, and it's like,
Yeah, no
well,
shit.
The Democrat Party turned on its base when they decided to screw you out of the nomination. In 2016 and 2020? I mean, that's who the base was calling for. But it's funny that he's going to try to, basically do the Scott Pressler thing, but just by going and visiting a whole bunch of towns and getting crowds of 2,000 people. And the left is acting like, yep, this is what's going to do it. This is our next thing. Because right now they've gone through, okay, we're gonna take over podcasting, and we're gonna have our left wing Joe Rogan, and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. We're gonna hire, I think they did 176. That was what their numbers said. That's how many influencers you need on YouTube and other social media to turn the tide with the youth. 176 people that are well paid to do a leftist show. So that, along with Bernie Sanders, is their plan of attack to turn the youth back to the Democrat Party.
How's that working out for him, Roman?
Yet to be seen, but I don't see any of these left-wing podcasters with any big numbers at this point. In fact, the only one that seems to be getting any numbers is Michelle Obama's, and it's mostly so people can check in and laugh at her and then clip the show, because everything she says is how much she hates Obama and would never have wanted to have a son because it might turn out like Obama.
What? Really? She's trashing Obama?
She flat out said that.
Wow.
She said, "I'm glad we never had a son because then it would have been like Obama, and that's the last thing we need is another Obama."
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah. She's been bad mouthing just about everything lately. So
Man, somebody's a bit salty.
yeah, you gotta watch some of those clips from her show because they're so cringe. Everything she says is, well, as a black woman, you know, I've been mistreated my whole life, and you know, everything's against us, and blah blah. It's you just sold a $43 million mansion. You want to tell us how underprivileged you are, Michelle Obama? Fuck off.
Yeah, there's a lot of probably a fucking river there.
Yeah, but we'll have to pull some clips from it sometime. It's a pretty good joke watch, but that's the only one I know of that's getting any views, and it's not from anybody that's serious. It's mostly to clip it, just like The View, and just like everybody only watches CNN to watch Scott Bessent. Or no, not Scott. Is it? Who am I thinking of? Scott Jennings.
Scott Jennings.
Scott Jennings just absolutely destroy whole panels.
All right, in terms of just as a reinforcement of elites, this is the tuition for Sidwell Friends, which is the
Can you
private,
blow it up just a little?
Yeah, which is the private school that all of the, including the Obamas, send their. That's where Chelsea Clinton went to school. So if you're in, you know, pre-K, it's only $53,000 a year. Upper school, which for the rest of us plebes is called high school.
High school
is $59,000 a year. So bear in mind, the Obama daughters were going to this school, 2 of them, for 8 years. And so that means they're spending $100,000 a year in tuition. And the rest of us are not dealing with that. By the way,
that was another thing she whined about on her show, though, was when we were in the White House, it was absolutely horrible. Like, you know, if we had to travel, of course, me and Barack got free tickets to go on Air Force One, but we had to actually pay for our daughters to travel with us. It's like any other family in the world would kill for that. I mean, so ungrateful.
Check out these additional fees for middle school, right? If you do the extended day, an additional $1,800 to $3,300 if you're, you know, like dropping them off early or picking them up. Upper school, you know, those costs go down. Lower school, you're talking $1,800. It's a ridiculous journey. Oh, and just as a pop culture tie-in, you know, our favorite man of the people type actor, you know, and I don't even dislike him in acting roles. John Barenthal plays the Punisher, was in The Accountant. Yeah. He went to Sidwell Friends his entire academic upbringing. He's a child of the elites from the Maryland, Virginia area.
Comes from a bit of money, too.
Yep.
I didn't realize that. That's interesting.
Nope. He, like, all of his shtick about, like, you know, being, I'm earthy, down, you know, it's all a shtick. He's from, like, he's the child of, like, diplomats. So I just like to expose that because you can, I mean, fine, you can like him in roles. I liked him in The Accountant. I thought he was great. But
I like him as the Punisher. I've actually met him. He's actually a pretty cool dude.
But be aware.
And just going to that school and being raised by elites doesn't make him a bad person.
It does. Right. He's a dick. I am a contemporaneous in the school systems around when he was going to school. He was a dick.
Okay.
So I'm just saying. Not for nothing, he is.
The Trump White House did put out a video that we can watch commemorating the first 200 days. So the thing that's funny about this is damn near everybody in this video, you know, would absolutely hate Trump. So we'll give it a quick watch. Nope, volume. Nope. Actually, Chad, I may have to link it to you and have you share it because
it is burning up the internet.
Is it doing the thing because you got terrible internet?
Please, it's too
All right, put it in there.
It's going.
I'm going to win. That's my job. That's That's what I do!
It's just my nature.
Are you not entertained? I'm gonna show you how great I am. You play to win the game.
Here's the situation.
I'm the best there is, plain and simple.
You can't handle the truth. It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal.
That's how winning is done.
Not worth winning if you can't win it!
That flipped this switch in me where I was like, okay, you, watch this.
The show goes on! What the? Who do you think you are? I am!
Kind of a big deal.
Winning's winning.
Ben, noggin.
Winners focus on winning.
My boy's wicked smart.
Dude.
You know, that viral marketing.
Yep.
But
Yep.
seriously, half of the people in that video probably hate Trump.
No
in every
problem.
way.
Tiger doesn't. He's banging a Trump baby.
Trump
mama.
X.
Well, she's on good terms. Like, she's Kai's mother, so she's
I know.
clearly.
And
with
that's
it.
his favorite grandchild, so. In light of that, the 200 days thing, let's just bring this up real quick. We're not going to go through everything, but let's run through the list of what has happened, because I think sometimes when we're looking at the things that we still want to happen, sometimes we lose sight of a few things that have been done during this first 200 days, which, bear in mind, is only 14% of his presidency. So there is still plenty of presidency to go, and it won't let me blow it up. So we'll just go through a few of them. NVIDIA moves to invest $500 billion to build AI. Apple just announced $500 billion in U.S. manufacturing. All glass for all the phones is going to be made in Kentucky now, and they are going to start making almost all the components for the phones in the U.S., or at least putting the final phone together.
It's kind of how it should
We've
be.
had $100 billion for chip manufacturing in the U.S. IBM, $150 billion over 5 years to expand manufacturing. Micron, $200 billion memory chip manufacturing. So we've got all of this investment from all of these companies bringing back manufacturing, or promising to bring back manufacturing in the U.S. Doge, we've gone over a lot of what Doge did, but 100% of the employees fired from USAID. 3,500 employees from the FDA have been fired. Just the Doge mandate in general. Trump, as we talked about, fires the head of Bureau of Labor and Statistics. The Federal Executive Institute terminated. Just a number of things under the Doge and bureaucracy reform. DEI, companies that have promised to end DEI, Goldman Sachs, IBM, Verizon, BlackRock, the State Department. The Carter era mandate focused on DEI hiring practices was rescinded. We've talked about a lot of that. And of course, as we know, with the DEI stuff with individual companies, chances are that gets moved to somewhere else. But there is a focus on DEI now. Immigration, we had the Lake and Riley Act. We've had the militarization of the southern border, Alligator Alcatraz. The number of arrests, we're up to, 1,300 people per day being deported. They've deported over 300,000 total, and tons are self-deporting. In the environment, we got out of the Paris Climate Agreement again. The EPA issues proposal to scrap the Biden-era $1 trillion EV mandate.
That's good.
Yes. EPA eliminated 455 DEI and environmental justice positions. Trump issued an executive order ending the forced federal purchase of and use of paper straws. So
That'll make Ryan happy.
even down to the little things. We have started the drill baby drill era again. We ended the liquefied natural gas export ban. We streamlined the Nuclear Regulatory Commission in order to pursue more nuclear energy production. We've expanded offshore drilling, and revival of the Keystone Pipeline is possible still. Technology, we've got a few. Education, slashing the Department of Education. Just tons of crap. Into the COVID-19 mandates in schools. Expanding school choice for American families. A lot of executive orders, and there's a lot of stuff that we would still like to see actually get codified. U.S. government restricts sports visas for transgenders and reaffirms the strict no boys in girls sports, and that there are only two sexes. In justice, we've had unconditional pardons for the January 6 protesters, executive orders on restricting birthright citizenship, which we were seeing going through the court, age verification on porn websites, economy. We've got the core GDP growing by 3% in the first 200 days. Gross domestic investment soared 22% in the first quarter. And like I said, we're not going to go through all of them, but just a reminder of what we have done in the first 200 days, because it has been a lot. And if you can find 200 different things, and that's not even including all the foreign international affairs like these things, like India and Pakistan no longer at war, Cambodia and Thailand no longer at war. As we said, Azerbaijan and Armenia no longer at war. He's working on the Russia-Ukraine situation. We got Mark Fogel back in a 1-for-1 prisoner exchange that wasn't the Warlord of Death. We renamed the USS Harvey Milk to the Oscar V. Peterson. We renamed Fort Bragg and Fort Hood and Mount McKinley.
All good things.
Yeah. There is a lot of good happening. So every now and then, I mean, especially when I find a list like this, it's like, let's just make sure we're pointing out some of the good that's going on.
Talks India and Pakistan were actually in a hot fighting situation for about a week and a half. Fighter jets in combat, missiles being launched. It was actually considered the start of a war, and he put it down so fast that it didn't register for a lot of people. It was a big deal, at least for a lot of circles here in the Northern Virginia area, because it was one of the first times we were seeing real combat between Western fighter
two nuclear
jets.
powers.
No, and even not so much that, but there was air-to-air combat going on between India's Air Force and Pakistan's Air Force. And it was the first time we had fifth-generation Chinese-made fighters going against Western-made fighters. And so it was like it was being closely watched in national security circles to see how that actually played out. The Chinese fighter won in this circumstance, but it was a Eurocom like old fighter, so fourth generation. So it's not quite a good indicator of how it would pull off against an American made one.
Real quick, Boosh McFadden became a member. Thank you, Boosh. And Toxic Man flew for $5, and 95% of that will be reversed when the next Dem Prez gets into office.
I really appreciate Tox's constant positivity.
Well, I think that the thing is he's not wrong. I mean, just look what happened when Biden took over. Because the issue that we're running into is that executive actions can be undone, and all this needs to be codified in the law.
And a number of things have been, such as the Trump tax cuts, and a lot of the Doge things were put into the rescission package. So we still have more reconciliation packages. We've got one more this year and 2 next year before at least one before the midterms. The second one is right after the midterms, right, Jed? Next year?
The next is...
The next one's coming up in November this year, right?
Yeah, because of the fiscal year, and then you can do it in the next one. So because our first rescissions, our first reconciliation that we did this time is technically for the fiscal year that started in October of 2024. The fiscal year for the federal government runs October to September. So in October of this year, if we don't pass one beforehand, we will be able to pass a reconciliation for the budget for the next year, next fiscal year. And then next year we'll be able to do another one for the fiscal year of 2026, quote unquote.
And this one won't have necessarily the urgency that we had on the one that we just did, because
the one
you've
we
already
just did
got
because
the
of the
Trump
tax
cuts
yeah.
codified, because that was the driving emergency. There was, you had to get those tax cuts kept in.
Yeah, that was the urgency driving this one. Now, the other thing is rescissions packages, they are unlimited. You can send, they have to be sent up by the executive branch. They have to be, like, the process for initiating rescissions starts with the executive sending the package to the House. The House passes it, then it goes to the Senate, and as long as no changes are made, it can go and be done. Rescissions are only allowed by act of Congress at request of the presidency, because it avoids what's been deemed illegal, which is called impoundment, which is the presidency refusing to spend money allocated by Congress.
Yep. Mark Daly for $5. Bureau of Labor and Statistics wasn't just massaging the numbers, they were giving them a full chiropractic adjustment. And over on the Rumble side, looks like Deeple gifted a membership over on the Rumble side, and that was received by Darren M. Thank you, Deeple. Find where to take that back off. So, yeah, Chad, what do you got left? We kind of burned through a whole bunch of stuff real quick.
We did burn through a whole bunch of stuff. I did, by the way, share in the private chat a link to a one-on-one interview he did with Sidwell Friends in 2022, so you can see he drops his fake accent. That southern kind of drawl voice goes away.
Yeah,
I'm all right. I'm not a like hater, but I do like things to be known. And John Barenthal's in reality a dick. And this is a quote. This part where I timestamped it is the part where he answers, where he hates Trump people. By the way, let's see. Oh, Deeple has posted some memes. Let's see. Do you want to bring up his super
we'll do
chat?
them at the end of the show.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'll get the super chat, but we'll do the memes towards the end of the show. We got a few more things. I'm going to show Alex Stein and Charlie Kirk actually met up at a Charlie Kirk event, so we'll show that one because it was kind of funny. Alex Stein is very worried about his big booty Latinas. But, on the Rumble side, Deeple for $1.
Didn't he interrupt a live? I saw a clip of him interrupting.
Right.
Which channel was it? Was doing the live show?
It was one of the
MSN,
local.
I think it was.
I think it was one of the
MSNBC?
local news feeds, because it was outside of the Texas Senate right after he had testified that that the trans should be allowed into the military because they're so suicidal that you could use them basically like bombers, like the like the jihadists do. That's what he testified in the Senate.
Oh my God, that is so funny. He is such a troll. That's so beautiful.
Very much an Alex Stein thing to say.
Yeah.
Deeple 101 for $1. Memes posted to Brahma's Extreme post. Dad had a medical incident last Thursday. I saw that on Twitter. He had surgery on Friday. He's successfully out of surgery and recovering. Now we're on the long road of recovery. Well, I'm glad the surgery was successful. I did see the tweets on that and was praying for him. Hope everything's going well.
Yeah,
and that he
prayers to your
recovers.
dad, man. I hope he recovers.
You want me to bring this up while I get the Alex Stein thing?
Yeah, because this is a fun, like, to getting to our redistricting one. Here, this is Nevada, right? Look at this. The popular vote. The Republicans won the popular vote. They had 48.54% to Democrats 37. Democrats won 3 out of 4 congressional seats. You want to talk about gerrymandering? Look at that shit.
That's probably a district map from back in the Harry Reid days.
Yep. So for all the people like getting what people are really upset about is like, oh shit, the Republicans realized they could do it.
Pretty much.
Oh no.
Oh no, the plebs discovered they could do the same things we've been doing.
Talks. It's being called the India-Pakistan near war. I didn't even know it happened, and I work with people from both countries. Yeah, I remember when it was happening because we were all like, well, that's two actual nuclear arsenals that go against each other, but neither of them is crazy enough. It was right around the time when we were talking about bombing Iran, and we were that was one of the examples we were bringing up of Iran may be crazy enough to use a nuke, even though India and Pakistan were at the time in a semi-hot war or semi-hot conflict. Don't believe either of them is crazy enough to use a nuke on each other. So that was what had brought it to my attention, and that was when we were talking about it about a month and a half ago, I think, right?
Yes, it was.
Sound like
it
the
was
right timeline?
I believe it was on the same show we were talking about Iran.
Yeah, that's when I remember having any inkling about what was going on over there. So, but yeah, it started up and burnt out real quick. All right, so here's what happens when Alex Stein meets Charlie Kirk.
Mr. Stein?
Well, Mr. Stein, that's my government name.
I really hate Twitter when you're trying to host the show.
Yeah.
They'll play any other
My
time.
street name is Charlie Kurt, the world's greatest college debater.
Here, I'll give it to Chad and we'll have him play it.
Charlie Kurt.
Charlie Kurt. Yeah, Alex was kind of upset that South Park actually did Charlie Kirk instead of Alex's fake version of Charlie Kirk that he calls Charlie Kurt, where Alex actually goes on campuses and pretends to be Charlie Kirk.
Which place are you sending the link?
I'm going to put it in the private chat so you can just pull it up real quick. So just a second. There you go.
All right.
Sorry, everybody. Bear with us. I always forget that if I share directly from Twitter, it's going to pause.
All right, I got it open.
I can share on everybody else's channel, but not on mine.
Boo, why
It's
would
not the
you
way
wanna
it
do
always
that?
is.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Mr. Stein?
Well, Mr. Stein, that's my government name. My street name is Charlie Kurt, the world's greatest college debater. I know you are a seasoned debater, but I am the best. And I must say, Charlie, you are talking about immigration. You're talking about deportations.
I appreciate him not going with the old Mel Brooks / recently used South Park joke for Charlie, where he's like, "I am the master debater."
Yeah.
Mass deportations. But I must say that my housekeeper, Juanita, has raised me since I was a little boy. And she's as legal as hell. She's illegal. So I want to say that, Charlie, why would you want to kick out my housekeeper? Because we need to protect all big booty Latinas. If you're a 9, you are fine. You get to stay. If you're an 8, we can have an immigration debate. If you're a 6, you can kick bricks. But Charlie, let's protect my housekeeper. Why does Juanita have to go, Charlie?
But you said she's legal, right?
She's illegal, yes.
Oh, illegal. Okay,
Oh, yeah, she's very illegal. No papers.
I'm sorry, they all gotta go.
No, but Charlie, I can't afford to pay a legal one. It's like 50 cents an hour for her.
No, it's gonna break your bank.
Charlie, please, just let the lady stay. She's not.
No amnesty, no deportations, no exceptions. They're all going home.
Okay, well, I still won this debate. I love Charlie. We love it. We love you, Charlie. Keep
God
up the
bless
good
you,
work.
Alex.
Love
You want a hat?
Give me a hat. Charlie, you rule. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Alex.
That's
a little
funny.
bit of fun with a few conservative voices, I guess. But yeah, Alex was posting during the whole South Park thing, about, I can't believe they went with Charlie Kirk instead of me. Charlie Kurt was a much better character.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Soul Assassin, he probably writes some of it, but a lot of it is from the top of his head, because just talking with him in person, he will go off on some of the craziest crap you have ever heard, just off the top of his head. but he's got so much of it in there just from doing all the characters that he's probably just got set lines that he just, obviously he has some set lines like the big boot of the Tina, but most of it is just him being crazy. But he's also super nice.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
He can also burn you real quick.
Yes, he can.
He has the possibility of doing so.
He's also really fucking tall too.
Yeah, he is. He could be a little bit wild on YouTube for the YouTube rules. But yeah, he's a fun guy to hang out with. I think that is a good chunk of what I got. Let's go ahead and do the memes, Chad, and then I'll look and see if there's anything else that I had bookmarked, and we'll see if there's anything else we had to cover. Oh, the other thing that is going to be going on tomorrow, there will be a post conference at the White House,
press conference
about making a news conference about making the Capitol safer. Trump announced that he's basically going to force DC to have the homeless move out immediately.
He's going to federalize the DC law enforcement.
Correct. He's going to give the homeless people places to stay, but far away from the Capitol. And he said, criminals, you don't have to move out. We're just going to put you in jail where you belong. It's all going to happen very fast, just like the border. We went from millions pouring in to zero in the last few months. This will be easier. Be prepared. There will be no more Mr. Nice Guy. We want our Capitol back. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So we'll have that press conference in the morning. And that stems from Big Balls getting
assaulted,
his face bashed in last week. I can't remember. Did that happen before our show last week or after? Ultimately, what happened was Big Balls was out hanging out with some friends. He came across a woman getting beat up by a roving gang, as one does in Washington, D.C. Big Balls decided to defend the woman instead of standing there recording it with his phone, and Big Balls got his brains bashed in. Like, he was extremely bloodied. So if you don't remember who Big Balls was, he was part of the Doge initiative. He was probably the most famous one outside of Elon Musk. And,
because of the name.
Yeah. And, well, I mean, they kept forcing MSNBC and CNN to address him as Big Balls. So,
which is absolutely hilarious.
It was a big ball move. So yeah, he got beat up pretty good. He is still part of Doge. So that kind of got Elon and Trump a little bit pissed off with DC and just the way it's being ran with the police. So that is where this is stemming from, is Trump's gonna try to clean up DC because he has the authority to do so.
This is good.
As he should, just to piss them off too.
Well, I mean, you don't want, it's the capital of the nation. You don't want a whole bunch of, school-age kids going there to visit the Capitol. You don't want all the tourism being shut down because, like every other major Democratic city, you've got just roving gangs of idiots going around beating people up for no reason.
So,
same with Cincinnati, same with, all these other places. You can't have your major cities be shitholes.
No, you can't.
As a person who lives very nearby, I will say, as long as if you take the metro in and get off right at like the reflecting pool that zone, the National Mall, they keep that place locked down. So you're fine there. Go in.
Sure, but you should be allowed to visit the Capitol and not accidentally get off on the wrong exit and get killed.
I mean,
it's just like New York. I mean,
problem you're taking
getting on the subway in New York.
It's a problem anyway.
I know, but it's a very big problem in some of our biggest cities that happen to just all be run by blue and being told that we need to defund police and get social workers to deal with these things.
So, to reiterate Toxic Man Flu's point, do not go to Charm City. Baltimore is the worst. If you're going to Baltimore, in terms of the safe region, you drive in, you get into a parking garage right at the Inner Harbor, right next to either Camden Yards, which is the baseball stadium, or M&T Park, which is the football stadium, and do not get away from that little zone because you will die. Baltimore is terrible. They
You
do not
will die.
Yeah, it's they don't even. That's one of the cities where they purposefully just don't keep statistics on the homicides to try to keep the rates down.
I've been to Baltimore once, and I didn't realize how fucking bad it was.
I bet you did once you got out of your car.
Well, I mean, I was there for work, so I was put up in a hotel near the area at the site where I was working, and it wasn't like in a terrible area, but when we were driving through it, it's just like, holy shit, it was bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Democrat rule for 50 years or so. That'll do it.
Yeah. You know, by the way, even though she's a congresswoman from San Francisco, Pelosi's family, if you go to her maiden name, she was they were running Baltimore years back. They're a political dynasty up there. So that's where she started.
Of course.
She started out of that, and then she married into the Pelosi side out in California. Anyway, so we got some memes from Deeple.
Yeah.
3.5 more years.
We're only 15% of the way through.
Remember, only you can prevent your state from becoming California.
Yeah, accurate.
Oh, that does bring up something that we'll talk about after the memes.
Liberal women are showing solidarity by buying American Eagle jeans just to burn them.
She was never fitting in those jeans either way.
I mean, maybe she should get a prescription for Ozempic from American Eagle. Let's see.
It's really hard to read, huh?
It's kind of hard to read it, but sorry, what was that? Never mind.
All right, so that was batch 1. Then we got some more.
She's got pretty eyes.
Yes.
This one has been throwing himself on the court for years. By the way, did you see that LeBron was getting through his representatives, getting people like banned from Instagram?
Oh, yeah?
Because they were sharing AI generated videos of him pregnant.
Oh,
man, that's funny.
All right, pay us what you're worth. And so then
throws a dildo at him.
And then they all shake hands.
Go back to talking.
Throwback to when my kid ate whenever I made for dinner without complaining.
True. It's so true.
Hillary Clinton has bad genes. Ugh.
I could have gone without ever seeing that.
Pretty much. That was terrible. And
It's
I think
disgusting.
that was the last one.
So on the California thing, because I'm in Colorado and we legalized marijuana and all the Californians moved here and immediately turned the state blue back in the day.
You may want to transition the scene. Just
Why? Oh, it's doing the thing, huh? Let's see if it'll let me. Okay, hopefully that's better.
It's still on Chad's blank screen.
Yep.
That's weird. We transitioned it. See if you can remove it on your side, Chad.
all right. It says that I've stopped sharing.
Okay. As far as I can see, it's not sharing. So, but what I was saying was, yeah, it's popping up there again. Let's just do that and see if it'll just take it smaller.
It looks like it at least my
Finally
screen
fixed
looks
it.
like it finally fixed.
Yeah.
Okay. So, with the situation in Colorado with marijuana, I strongly disagree with Trump looking to maybe deschedule the marijuana as a drug. I think everywhere that is legalized marijuana has realized that it's probably been a fairly big mistake. I know there are probably a few people in the chat that are probably for it, but if you're living in an area that it has been decriminalized, at least state level, it's not been good. I get that there's a lot of people that like to smoke, but I don't know that that's a good move. That's a place where I feel like I would push back on Trump on it. I don't know how you guys feel on it. I know with the libertarian leanings, typically, you know, it's going to be something more towards yes, but I don't.
I'm kind of
I'm
mixed
not
on
as
it, honestly.
libertarian, but I just think it's been bad everywhere it's been done.
I think it honestly kind of depends. I think if they were to legalize it nationwide, I don't think you would have had the effect like what you ran into, where because you had certain states going and legalizing it, and then of course you had people show up that wanted marijuana. Whereas, like,
Sure, I'm not saying that it's going to turn places blue. I'm saying that the legalization of marijuana in most of these places has been bad either way.
The thing that
what do you think about Vegas now that it's been legalized? I think it's turned into a crap hole since.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the fact that that's one of the things I don't like is going around, walking around in public and smelling pot. Okay, it's if you're not smoking it, it's a disgusting smell. It really is, and yeah, like I said, if they do it to the point, it's like, yeah, do it in your own home. Nobody fucking cares. I'm fine with that. But smoking pot out in public, I do have an issue with. Now, the other thing too is I do use CBD product to help me sleep, and you know it's Delta 9, which technically is considered to be marijuana, and that's one of the things that they did recently in Texas is they did pass a law saying Delta 9 can stay in Texas, which I'm totally fine with. Mainly, like I said, because I had the gummies that help me fucking sleep.
So they don't make you giggly and messaging Brahma at random times?
I mean, I'm not gonna say that they don't affect you, because they do.
I've been
hence the reason why they help me fall asleep at night. So
that if you do not if you exceed the recommended dosage, you get the giggles and send text messages to Brahma.
Gotcha.
Yes, as Mad may or may not have done earlier in the show when he told us in chat that he was a little bit giggly.
Gotcha. But you know, I mean, overall, like I said, if people are able to go and buy it, because like one of the worst things in this country has been the war on drugs. Okay, because it put a lot of people needlessly in jail. Probably some people did deserve to be there, but let's get them for actual real crimes. But at the same time, yeah, you're right. It kind of trashes up the place a bit. I mean, Vegas is a really good example of that. Now, I don't know what it was like before. And it could be one of those things that, you know, correlation is not causation. It could be a lot of different things that, like that,
right.
getting rid of the mob in Vegas, because probably
Vegas
to go
is a
downhill
whole
a
different
bit.
thing. So Vegas is the confluence of three main influences. One, it went corporate. And once it went corporate, when you're looking at shareholders and corporate ideals, they couldn't give free parking anymore because we can monetize parking. We couldn't give, you know,
we don't
free
give
drinks.
out free buffets or very, very cheap prime rib.
So they believe they switched to a corporate idea of monetizing every access point, which made Vegas used to be a place where you could go and you could park. And this happened in Atlantic City too. Basically Vegas did all the same stuff that happened in Atlantic City, but they did it like 10 years later. And so first the corporations came in and started monetizing everything. Then second, the sex industry decided to be very open, even more so than they had been before, because it tied into the corporatization of everything. And that was a problem. And then the last thing is, gambling's legal everywhere now. You don't have to go to Vegas. So when you have problem number one and problem number two happen, where you monetized everything, and you have all those guys flipping those cards at every street corner and throwing them at you and doing all that shit, when you can sit at home,
that's been gone for a while though.
When you can sit at home and just use a sportsbook app to bet on whatever you want, like which color dildo is going to get thrown at a WNBA game, and you can parlay that, you know, to make gambling doesn't have that magical effect of getting you to. Why would you drive all the way to a goddamn desert and pay to park and pay for overpriced buffets and pay for all the other things when you can just do that at home, right? The online gaming industry is now $25 billion a year. That money came from somewhere, and a lot of it was Las Vegas. And so they're now they've had that giant sucking sound of money leaving them and they're trying to kind of.
But there's a lot of
cope
other
with it.
gambling that isn't just the sports betting. And
But you can do that gambling
like
now
I, as a
too.
card player, or even people that like to play the slots, do you trust anything happening on an app?
No, what I'm talking about is in addition to, well, before, like for me, coming from Mid-Atlantic, there's now casinos in West Virginia, there's casinos in Maryland, there's casinos if I want to drive a little further north that are Indian owned in the north. They started building casinos for tabletop gaming nearby.
In certain states.
Really?
But it's
Wow.
not nationwide.
I don't know. I don't think there's anybody who's more than like who wouldn't be able to take a day trip to go to a casino and gamble.
It'd take about 8 hours for me to get to one that actually has anything other than limited stakes.
You don't have Indian casinos nearby?
Not in Colorado. Closest one is in New Mexico, I believe. The Buffalo Thunder Resort.
Is that closer
They may
than
have
Vegas?
some in Oklahoma. Vegas is 12 hours. So for me, it would be better to go to Vegas. The other thing I think that's happening in Vegas, though, is in the past few years, Vegas has had, this is going to sound really bad, but Vegas has had very much the Carnival Cruise Line type situation going on. And people have just gotten fed up.
You have to remind me what's been going on with Carnival Cruise Lines.
I mean,
Well,
I'm
they
just
had to
look-
ban certain segments of the, well, not ban, but change rules for certain segments to dissuade certain people from going. And
he's trying to not, he's not trying, how do I put this? He's delicately trying to beat around the bush of being early 90s WWF racist.
yeah. You've been to the Flamingo Comics?
I have.
By the way, this was our Friday show comics. Before I was on before we did the show, I was watching the 1992 Royal Rumble, just because it's on YouTube, and I was like, oh yeah, it'll be fun to watch this again. And about 32 minutes in is when Virgil comes out, and I swear I was like, I forgot the commentary was like this because I was watching it with my 10-year-old. Bobby the Brain Heenan all of a sudden goes, I'm a little worried. He's like the 20-something person out there. He had a lot of time in the back to be around purses. I was like,
At least Eric K agrees with me on that take on Vegas.
well, I was going to say, if you look at chat, though, we got people, casinos in Ohio, all over Oklahoma from toxic man flu. I mean, I think the area where you would fly to Vegas because that's where you could go to gamble. You can gamble now pretty much, at least for the East Coast.
It was more than just going to gamble. It was the shows, it was the food, it was everything back in the day. They've basically destroyed that. I mean, yes, legalizing sports gambling and everything and having gambling throughout the country has done a lot to stop that. But at the same time, Vegas was still a spectacle to go see. And now it's just crappy. I mean, if you're walking anywhere, it's miserable. You're constantly getting hit up for timeshares outside of every freaking casino, nonstop. And they're
You're
pushy
constantly
as
getting
hell.
hit up to go to strip joints too.
You've got that. You've got homeless people just roaming constantly. It smells ridiculous because of the pot and the smell of homeless. And it's just a dirty, dirty place now. Before, it was dirty in a different way. Like when the smut cards were getting passed out. You know, parents would put the kids on the side that wasn't going to be getting handed stuff. But the casinos themselves were still pretty nice.
Bringing their
and
kids to Las Vegas?
there's lots of things to do in Vegas.
It's
Family Guy had like a whole joke about
it's
the whole
a
thing with
terrible
Vegas.
idea because I had to go through there when I was a kid, when we were going on our way out to Japan for being assigned there with my dad. And so my mom, we were either in the hotel room or we were at Circus because this is the early 80s. And when I went back later in life and I'm walking around, and I get it now, they had a roller coaster in the New York casino. They have all this other stuff. I saw people walking with their kids, and I was like, you're a terrible parent, bringing them to Sin City, where there's cards. Because even if people were dropping weren't handing the cards to the kids, they're all over the ground. So kids are picking up and seeing porn. It's ridiculous. There's no like being able to go see a show or have this or X, Y, or Z available doesn't mean exposing your kids to Las Vegas at any age under 21 is a terrible idea. It makes you a bad parent. 100% bad parent.
On our way to California, we stopped in Vegas for the night. We went to the Circus and let the kids play all evening. Because the Circus is just a glorified amusement park / arcade for kids with a casino separate.
Did you go from parking lot of Circus into Circus?
Yeah, because we had our own car because we were driving to California. And we stayed at like the MGM. So we drove down to the MGM, got into the elevator, went up to the room. There are things to do with kids in Vegas, though.
It's still a bad idea. You're borderline bad parent.
Anymore, the smut card. The last time smut cards were around was about 15, 20 years ago. Now it's just homeless and the smell of pot. The smut cards disappeared back in like the early 2000s.
I was there in 2011. They were still giving them out by the dozens at every street corner.
You had to take them. They weren't just throwing them at you.
Oh my God, Brahma. There's a whole guy handing them out and like, oh, you have to take them. I mean, like that's such a fine.
No, the pushiness of the people before was a lot different. They were like literally handing them to kids. Then it was, they do the snap thing and you could take one if you wanted one.
And so you're saying that them snapping it and making it a voluntary take it is just makes it not a problem at all?
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying it was completely different from what it was in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s.
Like Soul Assassin collecting the smut cards like The Witcher.
Toxic Man Flu for $5. The Carnival Cruise effect is why I stopped going to Sandals Jamaica resorts in Vegas. Once everyone can afford it, it becomes a shit show. Hashtag Ian is gay.
You're one to talks.
If you're going to go to a Sandals, go to St. Lucia. It's nice. The riffraff don't go down there. It's fine. At least they didn't when I got married there, so that was a good one. That's where to go.
There was another comment I was going to highlight. Oh, yeah. Lindsay says that people don't like the smell of tobacco smoke either. True. And like when I'm hanging with you guys in Vegas, I tend to hang back about 10 yards away from you guys and downwind as well as I can.
I don't fucking mind it. I mean, it never really bothered me.
Right, but I'm pretty cognizant of it when I'm around everybody.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
I think that's about it, isn't it, guys?
I think we pretty much covered everything.
Don't have anything, so.
I was looking through the feed. I didn't see anything else that was major other than a clip of John Bolton. We'll just read what he said instead of bringing up the clip. This is regarding Trump inviting Putin to Alaska. Bolton, who we all know is a freaking moron. This is not quite as bad as Trump inviting the Taliban to Camp David to talk about the peace negotiations in Afghanistan, but it certainly reminds one of that. The only better place for Putin than Alaska would be if the summit were being held in Moscow. So the initial setup, I think, is a great victory for Putin. So apparently meeting in America is about the same as being in Moscow in Bolton's mind.
Well, and the other thing, too, God forbid he meet with a fucking world leader. And a world leader we're not exactly friendly with.
Negotiate the stop of a war.
So under Bolton's logic, when Nixon met with the Viet Cong to end the Vietnam War, he's like, why would you meet with them?
Yeah.
Like that you can't the idea that meeting, like you can't meet with the Taliban. Who is fucking in control of Afghanistan?
The Taliban.
Everybody knew who was going to take over again as soon as we were gone. So
well, I mean, they were going to take over regardless because when we handed it back over, there was supposed to be a peaceful transition back over to Taliban, I thought.
Well, it's just, it's acknowledging reality on the ground. Like, even if we left and it was supposed to be the quote unquote provisional government, it wasn't going to last. Yeah. And so if you're going to negotiate, like, you can negotiate with your fantasy logic, or you can negotiate with the real. Like, if you're going to end the war in Ukraine, you don't need Zelensky there. You need Putin. This is
Yeah,
how you're going to do it.
Zelensky is just a actor again. He's no longer got any actual power.
Here you go. This is a funny meme I found, though. It's in honor of the launch of Battlefield 6. This is EA's EA's new special branded control for it for the Xbox.
That's
the beta
that's funny.
weekend.
That way you can just get right in there and pay your money for the loot boxes.
Nice.
Nice.
I don't think any of our group started playing this week.
I know that Imp messaged me. I just didn't have time. Like I said, I'm getting ready to get my son into fall ball for Little League, so we had to do a little stuff, get him set up with. I got one of those hitting nets so that he can actually practice taking swings and do all that kind of good stuff.
Nice.
Busy being like dad on the weekend here. Didn't have time to just ignore him and play video games.
Dude,
I played video games.
A terrible father for not ignoring your son.
No, my video game time usually happens after midnight.
Late night.
Where I can go on Dune and just harvest resources and get ready and build a base in the deep desert. But video games are the reason for all violence. I mean, I would say that World War II disagrees with that statement. They didn't exist, so
No, the video games they came from the future and influenced their activities. So, yeah, it's still video games' fault.
Oh, I know.
Here, we'll play this while we do our outros. So, Comix, what do you got? What do you got coming up this week? Oh, let me mute it.
Probably more brain damage. Oh, I'm sorry. She's got a rockin' bod. Anyway,
Boobert?
Yeah.
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 Comix is like, she's got a rockin' bod, and I know she's super white trash. I'm good to go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can hang out with us tomorrow on my channel every Monday and Thursday. Maybe this week I'll actually get off my lazy ass and make a video. So don't hold your breath.
Nice. Okay. Chad?
We got.
She's got trashy tattoos.
I think we are taking the week off of our Tuesday show. Is my understanding. So no MadEPAP. You can go to the Mad's new channel archives to check out one of those. But on Friday, we have the Ascendant Art podcast, 9 p.m. Eastern. I would invite Comix on, but I know he's already has a bigger show that he does, right before that, possibly. So
yeah, but then he just plays video games.
I know, because some people.
Of course,
in our
he gets
chat,
paid. He gets paid to play those video games.
Yeah, I was going to say
that's
I know
the way you
because
do it, buddy.
I know.
But unfortunately, some of
money
those
for
videos are
nothing and your
crap.
chicks for free.
Yeah, people in our chat will be like, "All right, I'm leaving. Comix is playing now." I was like, "All right, that's cool." But yeah, so 9 p.m. Eastern. I think Nobody 2 comes out this week. So
Yeah, Nobody 2. There's a lot of things that come out this week. So Nobody 2 is out. You also have Alien Earth, which is going to be a fucking clusterfuck. And there's like one other thing, which I'm totally blanking on. Red Sonja. Red Sonja
is actually getting a release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it going to straight to like streaming, or is it going to theaters?
It's a little bit of both, I believe. I don't know if they're actually releasing in theaters, but I know it's streaming. They might do the try and release it to a theater thing, like they have.
Maybe day and day.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking paying money to see that thing.
I saw the trailer for that, and it looked like a shit show.
It looks awful.
I was like, no, I'm going to go watch Brigitte Nielsen in the 80s. It seems like a better idea.
That was a good movie. For $2 on the YouTube side, Ned Landone says, vote Pritzker out. It's either that or he's going to have a heart attack soon. And Lindsay, the cynical geek, finally got to Act 3 in Expedition 33. Congratulations. It gets fun there. So, as for me, no show on Tuesday with Mad. I'll be there Monday and Thursday with Comix. Wednesday, we do not have a Christian panel. I think we're doing that on the following Wednesday. And then Friday, Ascendant Art with Chad and Slender. And then we're back here for the Bullpen next Sunday. So I think that is all we got for tonight. Hope everybody has a great week. And we will give you some credits on the way out with a song that only a small percentage of you liked. If there's anything you want us to cover next week, please leave it in the comments. I do read those every week. And if you've got any suggestions, we will try to make it happen. So have a great night, everybody, and a fantastic week.
Bye. Oh, Deeple, it's Lauren Boebert, Congresswoman from great state of Colorado.
Boebert. That's what her name is.
The only picture they didn't animate of her was the one in the theater.
That's because you can't animate girls giving handies.
Man.
Yep. Kill off Uber.
Yeah. I mean, because you're showing your credits to all the people who are supporting you, being members.
Yes.
Being part of the team.
With a great song that apparently sounds like the 90s.
I would say early 2000s.
Late 90s, early 2000s, post-grunge.
I mean, I'm pretty sure
definitely post-grunge.
The people who did this song could definitely open for Jimmy Eat World.
Or Nickelback.
Well, I can't trust Nickelback after he murdered his wife and replaced her with a body.
What?
Avril Lavigne.
Oh, you haven't fallen into the internet deep lore about that?
No, I haven't.
That Avril Lavigne is actually a body double, and the original Avril got replaced like 15 years ago.
That's actually kind of funny.
No, I'm serious. Like, do a search. I completely got my co-host on Friday. Like, he didn't know, and I was like, as we're doing the show, he's like, I'm 100% in on this now. Yep, it's all there. That whole look at this photograph song, it was all like a confession.
Interesting.
That's why Avril doesn't tour anymore. She can't. The body double can't sing.
Oh man, I love the internet sometimes. Sometimes I hate it, but that's funny.
I think it should be. You should cover it on your show. That'll be. I could get culture and to try to address that. It'll be good for his 18th channel, that where he's going to talk about, women's views on body doubles.
Yes, and that could be John Campia Reacts too.
Yeah, it'll. I do think of John Campia every time I hear his name.
Campione. It's Campia, dude. It's John Campia.
Was it a channel all about looking at Tobey Maguire's?
Yes.
Night, everybody.
Good night.